Abby gave me a gift of 6 months of like secret surprise dates. Abby gives me this gift. She mentions, hey, we could do the first date on January 4th. And I'm thinking, first I'm like, uh-oh, that's when I want to propose. And then I think, oh, that could be great because I could, kind of juke her out, right? Like she's thinking, I'm going to surprise Taylor. And then I come back, wham, I'm surprising you.
But it's kind of tricky for him to plan this because he doesn't know what we're even going to do.
Yeah, I told my friend, I said, hey, just play along. I'm going to text you and act like we're going to go out to this movie with Abby on Saturday night. And so he's a great friend. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. So I come over to Abby's house on Saturday, but she told me that we had to dress like hipsters. So I got on my suspenders, got a black, bow tie on. Roses are sometimes red and violets are usually blue. There's 1,000,001 things inside a bookstore that we can do. Will you be my bookworm date? But it turns out we're gonna go to Barnes & Noble to do one of those cool book dates. And I told her we're gonna go see this movie because I wanted us to be out of there by a certain time. But like I told Katie that we would be at the church between 6 and 7. So I told Abby that we're gonna see this movie at 7:30, and so we need to leave before that. But then Mrs. Feinn, bless her heart, she's trying to like help me out, but we just didn't communicate all about this. So she texts Abby. And I was anticipating a different text later on, but not this text. So she texts Abby and says, hey, the whole family's gonna go see a movie, and we're gonna go see Frozen, which was the same movie Abby and I were gonna see. And she says the show times are 7:10 and 8:30. And then Abby looks at me like,
we're going at 7:30.
She's like, I thought it was at 7:30, Taylor. And like, you should probably call Mark because this is the wrong time. And I'm just like, like in my mind, like the whole world's like melting around me, and I'm like, oh no, everything's falling apart.
And I'm kind of catching on to this. Like Taylor's hesitating in his responses to me, and he's like all of a sudden acting nervous, and then he's like, I need to go use the bathroom. And he had just went to the bathroom like less than an hour earlier, so I just knew, okay, something's up.
And I go to the bathroom and I call up Mrs. Feinn. I'm like, Mrs. Feinn, you gotta get us out of here. Like, you gotta call up Abby and do that thing to get us out of here soon. And she's great. She's like, I'm on it, Taylor. So I say, tell Katie and tell Isaac that we're coming, because I don't have time to text them, because Abby is like wondering what's going on. So I come out of the bathroom. I texted Mark earlier and I said, hey dude, if I call you about the movie again, just go along with it. He's great. I call him up because I knew I could fake like I was calling Mark, but then
which really helped.
But then she would know that I wasn't really calling him. So I legitimately called him and he picks up. Hey man.
In front of me, so I'm hearing this conversation.
Yeah, And I just talked to him, hey dude, actually the movie's at 8:30 instead of 7:30, a little mixed up. Is that okay with you? And he's like, yeah, that's great. And so I close the phone.
So now I'm just kind of like back to normal, like, oh, okay, nothing's happening. Like we're really going to the movies.
Yeah, and then the text I was anticipating from Mrs. Feinn came. So Mrs. Feinn had this brilliant idea, and it worked like a charm. It was perfect. She tells Abby Graham's locked herself out of her car. So she's like, Taylor, can we go? I know we're on this date. And I'm like, baby Kate, it's fine if we go. So she's thinking I'm a hero, and we go over to to Graham's church, pull up in the parking lot. We see Graham's car there because she's called, and I wasn't anticipating this. It's a small church, right? So I'm thinking we're just gonna go in and look for her. But she starts calling up Graham. I'm like, what are you doing? She says, I'm gonna call Graham and see where she is in the church. And I'm thinking like, oh no, I don't know if Graham's like been prepped on this. She's gonna be like downstairs in her nightgown watching reruns of Judge Judy, and then she calls once, doesn't go through. Calls again, doesn't go through.
Yeah, I'm like, should we wait out here? Taylor's like, well, we just go inside.
So we walk inside this cute, quaint country church, and there's there's the foyer area, and then there's the second doors, and we open up the second doors, and the lights are dimmed. There are candles up on the aisle, and Abby shuts it quickly, and she says, oh, there's something important going on in there.
Yeah, I think like some church sacred things going on, and then my grandma's probably like waiting in the basement for us.
So then she starts trying to walk away, and I grab her and take her back in there.
They're here.
It's in silence. This music's playing. The candles are there. The lights are dim. We go down to the altar, and there's a vase with some white roses. There's a book Abby gave me, like a photo book of some of our life together. There's some books we'd read together. We go up to the piano. It's all spread out with lots of letters she's given me and other gifts she's given me. There's a stool there. My darling, I'd be the wind at your back. If you were afraid, my darling, I'd be the courage you lack. Some things I'm looking forward to. I say, Abby, there are all kinds of things I'm looking forward to doing with you if you'll be my wife. I'm looking forward to for the rest of my life, sharing with you my wonderings and my questions and learning from your advice. I'm looking forward to always being changed by you. Abby, I want to make and I want to conquer goals with you. I want to go to church with you every single week, and I want to make a bunch of meals with you. I want to see you without your makeup every single day. And Abby, I want you to be able to come home to me and me to be able to come home to you. And I want to be able to hear the highs and lows of your day every single day. And when the night wears on and it seems like the evening has to end, I want us to never have to say goodbye to each other. And then in the morning, I want to wake up next to you. And in the afternoon, I want to hear the music of your footsteps throughout my house. And I want to read books with you. And I want to do hospitality with you. I want to invite people into our lives. I want to seek the Lord's face together about our future. I want to pray and evangelize to our friends. I want to take lots of picnics together. I want to run races with you and think of new traditions for our family. I want to create a holy synergism in our marriage where we're both helping each other multiply the talents God has given us 5 and 10-fold for His kingdom. I'm looking forward to quiet nights where we just sit at home and do nothing, and to exciting nights where we stay out late and do crazy things out in the town. I'm looking forward to listening to any love song I want with you, to dancing with you in the living room, to taking lots and lots more pictures with you. Abby, I want to take risks with you for the Lord. I want to memorize scripture with you. I want to raise children with you. I want you to be the mother of my children. I want to make your family my family. I want to call your dad my dad, your mom my mom. And Abby, I want to call you my fiance. And someday, most of all, I want to call you my wife. Resolutions for a new life. Promises from my wife. Abigail Christine Feinn. With an eye of faith, the strength that God supplies. If you are my wife, I promise to love you as Jesus loved His bride and handed over His life for her. To nourish and cherish you as my own body. To listen to you, my children, my authorities, my friends, and my Lord with a humble and teachable spirit. To be courageous in my leadership of you and our family, like Joshua, remembering that the Lord is with me. To clothe myself with compassion and kindness and gentleness toward you as a dearly loved child of God. I promise to always treasure you with joy in your sickness, in your pregnancy, fatigue, and brokenness, discouragement, and age, remembering your intrinsic value as an image bearer of the divine, and as a member of the eternal God family. I promise to, the strength of God, to move romance into the fabric of our marriage, to continually press deeper into my relationship with God, to affirm and encourage you frequently and generously, to assume the weight and joy and responsibility to keep moving you and I towards the good works the Lord has planned for us and away from wasting our lives. I promise to talk of God frequently with any children of the world and bless us with, disciplining them to obey all that Christ has commanded, remembering that I bear unique responsibility before the Lord for their well-being. I promise to put no unwholesome thing before my eyes and never take a lustful second look at any woman who may cross her path with my joyfully, I promise to joyfully bear the responsibility of spiritual leadership of our family by kindling the flames of worship in myself and anyone else like you might be in my house. Say, I'm on my knee and I say, Abby, I have 2 questions for you. The first is, would you close your eyes for me? And so she closes her eyes, looking so cute, and then I get up and I grab a little ring box and I go back down on my knee and I say, all right. And she opens up and I say, the second question is, will you marry me? And she says, yes! And she jumps up from her stool, gives me a big kiss on the cheek, and we hug, and we're just like celebrating and cuddling. Weddings, for a betrothal, actually, the man would pour up a cup of wine as an invitation to the woman to be betrothed to him. When she accepted, she would drink the wine. And so we went over and we prayed, and we broke some bread and drank some juice.
If you were a boat, my darling, a boat, my darling, I'd be the wind at your back. If you were afraid, my darling, afraid.
Hugged lots more. Went back to Abby's house, and Mom and Dad were there, and Abby's brother had come up from Bowling Green, and her grandma was there, and we just had a great lasagna dinner and told a story, and it was just wonderful. Like, it was so wonderful. I was telling God what I wanted, and I really wanted this to be a special night that Abby would be able to treasure forever. And God doesn't have to do that. That's like, He doesn't have to do that. But it really was, and it just went down super well. So I'm really thankful, and we're both very happily engaged.
Wherever